Hello to all party people out there in radio land. Welcome to this week's transmission. This week's topic is stepping into your true self requires work, right? So, again, we are force fed from many different angles: schools, spiritual leaders, Wheaties boxes, cartoons, teachers. Everybody tells you to step into who you are, your true self, right? Listen to the small voice, follow your intuition, and reclaim your power, claim your destiny and your identity, right? You write all that, you chart all that, you do all of that. But stepping into your true self requires for you to step out of everything else. So when people begin to follow their intuition and pursue their chosen path, naturally they come up against obstacles. Okay, that of course we have these tests of our persistence, and we have these growing pains, so to speak, where you are given these obstacles so that you are able to challenge yourself to go to the next level, right? You're able to stretch yourself. It's like doing, let's say, push-ups, right? You can do 10 today. So then tomorrow, you're just going to try to do 20, even though you've never done 20, right? That's going to make you better, right? You're expanding your abilities. Same thing with other challenges and obstacles in life. So when you are becoming your true self, when you're marching to the beat of your own drum, you're dressing how you want, you are eating how you want, you do things that make you happy and that most represent your soul, right? Including the type of work that you do, the type of people you hang around, the places that you frequent, blah, blah, blah. It also requires you to break away from everything else. See, here's the deal. Stepping into your true self is hard. And people say, oh, no, it's really easy. You just have to listen to your intuition and follow it, and that's that. No, because it's not like we have been reared in a vacuum or as though we are just empty vessels who just find themselves. No, when you find yourself, you have to lose the part of you that wasn't you. You see what I'm saying? So there are parts of yourself that already exist that you carry with you as though it's who you are when it's not. That's what makes stepping into yourself and your greatness so difficult. And you say, well, it's not hard. Yes, it is, because if it wasn't, everybody would be doing it. So it's got to be hard. It's like, being in shape and working out and things like that. Like, okay, the United States has an obesity epidemic. Why? Right? Because that's the easier route. Now, of course, there are reasons for that. People have emotional issues that they are dealing with in childhood trauma, I believe, and that causes them to overeat. But for the most part, right, that's the path of least resistance, right? It's like going downhill. It's like taking the steps versus taking, the escalator, right? So whether you are close to being your true self, or far away from being your true self, or you are your true self, at some point you have had to, or you will have to, shake off all of the old baggage that you have acquired up until this point. Otherwise, you would be your true self. It's like when babies are born, they're pure. They don't really have all of the societal stuff attached to them because they haven't been here long enough. Now, do they have other karma from past lives and things from their lineages and that they are carrying? Yes, of course. That's a whole different topic for a whole different segment. But for the most part, they don't have, they're not born bitter, right? They have positive expectations of things. Again, going back to my bitter old man example, right? It's expected for old people to be bitter because we figure, oh, life is hard and there are a lot of bad things about life. So I expect that you, having been exposed to life for so many years to be, bitter about it, right? Whereas little kids, no, we don't expect them to be bitter. You just got here. Everything's happy. You still have hope, right? You still believe. So the longer that you are in this life, the more that you are exposed to, good and bad, and the more that you accumulate, the more karmic debt, negative quote unquote energies. That's all the stuff that you carry around with you. That's what's stopping you from stepping into your true self. It's not that you are incapable of doing it, or that you're incompetent, and maybe not even that you don't know who you are at your core. But it's the fact that you haven't shed all of the things that you're not, to allow your true self to shine, right? To pop back up to the surface, like the cork example, cork in the water. You're going to be who you are anyway. You were born that. The name of the game is getting rid of stuff that you don't need, right? Baggage, karma, toxic relationship, toxic situations, toxic jobs, toxic family members, toxic living situations, toxic just foods, toxic energy, everything, right? Stepping out of that, stepping out of your societal conditioning. Everybody has been conditioned. We are all conditioned societally, like by society, particularly, Black people, minorities, things like that. You better believe we got some societal conditioning. But here's the thing. People who are not minorities also have societal conditioning, right? Because the powers that be they condition everybody. Everybody's been conditioned to believe what they, to believe the things that those who are in power, who run in the show, want you to believe, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. So until you recognize that, and recognize, one, that you have been conditioned, and two, be able to work backwards and pinpoint the things that have been implanted in your mind, the things that, you have been brainwashed to believe. Like, let's say something that's common for everybody across the board, lack mentality. United States, that is what we dwell in, right? The news forces it everywhere you look. We see pictures of lack from around the world. We see pictures of lack in our own country, in our own backyard. They talk about there's not enough. There's a water scarcity. There's not enough food to go around. There's not enough space on the planet, is what they telling these people. That's a lie. But they make everything a lack, right? They want you to observe things in life from a lack standpoint, so that you are hindered from manifesting your abundance and from seeing your abundance, right? So how can you see it if you've been conditioned that there is not enough clean water in the world? There's not enough food to go around, things like that. There's not enough space. There's not enough land, right? There's not enough oil in the ground, things like that. You can't. It's impossible, right? So knowing is only half the battle. You have to step out of all of those things. And that requires meditation. That requires sitting by yourself. That requires contemplation and reflection and critical thinking, right? Taking all of that stuff off and realizing just because your grandma told you that, don't make it right. Don't make it true, right? That was her interpretation of reality. That was her, experiences. Maybe they didn't have anything coming up. Maybe, again, she was born and raised during the Great Depression, so there was a very real sense of lack. But you ain't living in a Great Depression. And even if you were, it doesn't mean that that's something that you have to experience as well, right? We all live in our own unique perceptions of reality. All of us do. And you say, well, how could you say if me and another person are both experiencing the same thing, that what they think of the circumstances is not real? Because it's all about perception. Everything is about perception. Just the other day, I was attending a major event, and the person who got there before me, just minutes before me, was like, don't even waste your time. There's nowhere to park. Like, it's done. I've been riding around. They got there before me, did their due diligence, was looking around, tried to be early, and they're like, this is useless. And I just kind of rolled on up a few minutes later, like at my own leisure, not thinking from a lack mentality like they were. Oh man, ain't gonna be nowhere to park. I didn't even think about it. I just assumed like, oh, I'm gonna find something. Even though the logic, of course, would have said, no, 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 no. You late and there are thousands of people here. No, no. But I didn't think about it. We were experiencing the same thing. So as I rode around and they rode around, right? We experienced in the same situation. I found a spot right up front. Like, voila, it was just waiting for me. And they were like, how could you have found that? That wasn't there. I've driven around this, like, it opened up just when I was, pulling up. Why? Because I did not, even though we had a shared experience, we did not have a shared perception of reality. Right? We both saw a lot of cars, but I did not see lack of parking. See what I'm saying? We both saw the same things, but I did not see lack. I did not see lack. I saw, something will come up. I just knew it. I accepted it. Oh, yeah, I'll find something. Right? So that's what it comes down to. You have to step out of your societal conditioning and be aware of the fact that we have been conditioned to think too, quote unquote, logically, to use our left brain too much, to think that there's not enough of things, to think that, certain things are bad or certain experiences are negative or unwanted. All of that is societal conditioning. And the good news is just as simply as it is a learned behavior, it can be unlearned. So that's the beauty of a situation. Everything that you've been conditioned can be reversed. The catch is that you just got to do the work. Thank you for listening. Have a great week. Love, live, light, laughter. Bye.